WERUradio Morning Crew, ladies and gentlemen, getting you up, getting you going, getting you into it with the best music mix and two of the hottest hostess. Well, one host and one hostess, excuse me. Sometimes I think I'm a hostess too. Don't be mad at me, though. Two of the hottest hosts on this side of the microphone. It is George Daigle. It is the Lioness. Good morning, my love.
Good morning, George. It's exciting to be here. I just so much going on in the news. I just couldn't wait to get here this morning to talk to you.
Girl, let's get into it. Get into it.
So. I'm want to talk about. Give me 1 second. I want to talk about how we are living in a world today where people are getting more and more in their feelings. And so basically, and you know, we got to be careful in this world today that we don't gain apathy. And so I'm going to take a moment and take us on another direction, just briefly on the tone. I know everyone, y'all want to get excited riding, but I do want to talk about some serious news. So apparently, ladies and gentlemen, a black man was stabbed to death, allegedly by his white social media Instagram model girlfriend, who reportedly posted to OnlyFans to put up some nudes immediately following being arrested. So police have arrested Courtney Taylor, an Instagram influencer, after being accused of fatally stabbing her black boyfriend to death inside his Miami apartment. Christian Obumseli, 27, rest in peace, was identified as the victim, who was murdered inside the Miami's Edgewater neighborhood. CBS Miami reported Obumseli was attacked inside his home and died after being transported by a Miami Fire and Rescue to JMH's Ride Trauma Center. Now, what makes this story very interesting is that friends of Obumseli said he lived at the apartment with his girlfriend Taylor and that they moved there from Texas in the last 2 years. The information claimed that the couple was constantly in domestic disputes. Some say they know that Obumseli's girlfriend was very active on OnlyFans, and she ended up posting content after she was arrested, booked. She had someone in her life put up the nudes because she knew she was going to get some attention. And I am just so disappointed in the world that we live in today because there's so many comments about it, so many opinions. But shout out to this man, Mr. Obumseli. Rest in peace. So I want to say that first, but I want to also talk about this issue where he's now passed away, and he was also a man that was known to really support and uplift interracial relationships, and he did not like black women. And so there's a lot of commentary there. But first, I want to get your thoughts on, you know, this OnlyFans, this Instagram model putting out news after she killed this man, and the fact that the police are handling her in such a way. I mean, so she didn't go to jail right away. She ended up going to a facility. What are your thoughts, George?
Well, let's be clear. We have seen this difference of treatment when it comes to white women assaulting, assailing, and murdering black men. In particular, two police officers. Just recently, the case in Dallas where the woman walks in and shoots a man in his own home and, you know, is having to go to court and saying that she didn't know and all this other stuff and how she was treated with white gloves. And then we go to the other officer who allegedly accidentally shot the gentleman with her taser and how she was treated with white gloves. Now, this is blatant disregard for life. But let's move over to this woman. And in the light of social media, people tend to think that every opportunity is an opportunity to gain likes, shares, retweets, and exposure. And in her mind, clearly something wrong with it because the girl went to the psychiatric ward. But clearly in her mind, this is also a come up to get, you know, empathy, sympathy, and people are going to want to hear her story. Whatever that story is, she wants to get it told. Sometimes people see that as the opportunity to come up. But here's the thing that you were saying is how people are reacting to him because he's an advocate of interracial relationships. And people are being dismissive of that. What are some of the responses and some of the things that they're saying?
So apparently, now I have been inundated in my social media with this information because black women everywhere are saying, girl, why? Girl, bye. Why is this my business? Because this is one of those men that dated interracially, that dated white women, that had the preference, which is fine. But he went out of his way to denigrate, downplay, calling black women ghetto, referencing, always putting black women in comparison to white women. He was one of those men that was the man in the interracial relationship that extolled the virtues of being with a white woman and how much better and how less ghetto and how more affectionate they are. And he even went on, and they have clips of him and tweets of him allowing people to make race jokes and him laughing with them, particularly women, non-black women. And so he was just really one of those men that was just really, really pro-white women, which, you know what? For your own personal life, not a problem. But he went on the social media and he shared that. And as a result, women all across the land, particularly black women, are like, girl, why? Girl, bye. Why is this my business? I'm going to give you the same energy you gave for us, and I'm paying it no nooch. I'm paying it dust. And so but my thought on this, and I do want to say this before I turn it over to you, George. My thought on this is that we live in a day and time where black lives we're seeing in real time that black lives, something that we always knew, don't matter. So then if we're seeing that black lives are not being treated with the same respect and dignity that sentencing and, like you said, even these other cases that we know around the country indicate that this country sees and targets black men as victims, then we are hypocrites if we say we want black lives to matter and we don't stand with Mr. Obumseli in this moment. I feel like as a black woman myself, I can relate to feeling shunned. I can relate to feeling ignored by this man and men like him who think that we're lesser than. But I believe that if we are truly in the business of caring about lives, bodies, and the work of making Black Lives Matter in this world, then we are hypocrites if we don't stand for this man, Mr. Obumseli, no matter what his belief is. Because the bottom line is Black lives still matter and they're being killed. What are your thoughts, George?
Ooh, I am on the other side of the scale with this. Here's the thing. I believe that how you live your life in the dash, between the beginning and the end, that's the dash, and how you present yourself, if you denigrate an entire community to uplift another, if you dismiss your black mother, in essence, by saying that black women are ghetto, they're unworthy of love, they act this certain way, and white women, should be extolled and uplifted and they're better, I'm not sure how you're going to gain empathy in dying at the hands of a white woman. I know that
he actually called white women his piece. Let me put that out there, y'all.
Yeah.
He said white women are my piece.
So at the end of it all, while I mourn his death, I'm sorry that he died in the way that he did, I don't know that you're going to gain empathy from the people that you said are worthless, basically, that you said weren't worthy of your love, that you said weren't your piece.
You know what? I'm with you. And see, here's the thing. That's why it's complicated and why I wanted to bring it on the show today. Because you're right. I think both things can exist at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe black women, we have a right to protect our own necks. And we shouldn't go out of our way necessarily to be overly empathetic for somebody that was anti-black women.
Right.
I get that. But on the flip side of it, if we're going to make the argument that Black lives matter, that is somebody's black son, that is somebody's mama's child. So his family today are really, really active in social media, trying to bring awareness about his death and to make sure that this lady is being properly handled by the police, that justice in fact is served. Now, we do know they're handling her differently. We do know that there's a chance that she won't get the justice she needs. And the social justice warrior in me feels like we should still have empathy for this life on the ground. I am all for, us trying to protect our neck and not giving energy to people who don't give us energy. But we have to remember that this is a black body and the system will fail him. And if we don't say anything, then were we really, really about that life? Is it only Breonna Taylor if Breonna Taylor has a certain set of circumstances? Is it only George Floyd if George Floyd has a certain set of circumstances? Like, we got to look at that. I mean, what are your thoughts, George?
I'm going to say this. As a black man, I believe that you have the right to date whoever you want to date. Black, white, green, purple, polka dot, whatever. But I do not agree with you putting down your black mother, your black sisters, your black aunts, your black cousins to uplift this white woman, these white women in this other community. I'm not with you. Now, do I feel sorry that he died in the way that he died? Yes. But is the community going to rise up and say, oh, you know, as much as my humanity wants to say, yes, his black life does matter. Let me be clear. His black life does matter. Are people going to empathize with him is the question. And should they have to? Because this is a position he chose. So why, as a black person, as a black man, black woman, should I be like, oh, I don't, am I wrong?
I'm not gonna lie. I had to cackle when his piece brought him to pieces, and that was the unhuman part of me, and I felt bad afterwards, which is why I'm advocating strongly for him now. Because once I saw his family and I saw the impact that the family had and the people that loved and cared about him, I was like, you know what? This isn't about his preference. This is about his mother that lost her child and probably won't see justice. And black people are not even helping her get her justice because they feel like her son was an asshole. And I mean, an a-hole. And I just feel so bad about that.
I do want the just, and this is me, and I think I'm probably one of the last people on the planet that believes the way I do. I do believe that the justice system does work for the most part. And I do believe that when this goes to trial and they get all of the evidence, in this case, that I want justice to be served. I do want him to find justice in his death, in his wrongful death. But am I overly empathetic? No. And I don't know how I could be. Does that make me inhuman? Probably. Does that make me an a-hole? Probably. But is it my honest opinion? Yeah.
And it's valid. All opinions are valid here. We Are You Radio.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, tell us what you think about this story and all the stories we talk about, because it'll be posted on our social media and you'll be able to hear it on our podcast as well. So this is what you do. Follow us on social media, WERU Radio, all one word. You can find us on Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, YouTube. And if you're looking for us on the Twitter, you can find us at WERU Radio, the number 4 REAL. Oh, we keeps it real. And we got more sizzling subjects, trending topics, and great music on the way. It is George Daigle. And who are you, ma'am?
I am the Lioness here today on the ones and twos, giving all of y'all the blues.
Right here on the We Are You Morning Crew. Good birdie.